So our guest today needs little or no introduction at all. He's one of the most celebrated DJs in the country as well as around the world. Now, he just recently returned from his residency in Ibiza, and today we get to know him a little better on the show. Hello, Black Coffee, and welcome to Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. So, let's start off. You just wrapped up in Ibiza. How would you describe 2018? How was this year for you?
2018 was a step towards the vision or like the dream that we're trying to create out of this journey of music. The residency was amazing, the tour was intense and exhausting and amazing, and I think it is the beginning of a greater future. My breakthrough, what I saw as a breakthrough was being called into a Gallo music offices and being scolded by the executives because I had done an illegal remix of Simpiwe Dana's Be Ready, and somehow it made the radio, and it became quite a big song on the streets. I had been working on different songs, you know. I had been involved in music with the band Shana at the time, but I had never had so much attention. It wasn't a good kind of attention, but that was the first time I felt like, okay, this is how the music industry works. A lot, I think, but outside Durban, because I grew up I was born in Durban, but I grew up in the Eastern Cape, and I was staying in a township called Engangelizwe, and in a corner house on our street, there were those illegal homemade mbamba shebeens, you know, and every weekend you'd hear songs. And as a kid, I would always gravitate towards that, you know, and when they get a little bit drunk and they start singing, you know, I used to be so fascinated by it. And I was very young, and I used to think this would be such it would be so amazing with the beat type of thing, you know. So I had that influence from the Eastern Cape, which is extremely rich with music. And then on holidays I'd go home, and that's where I'll experience the pop world. I do get caught up, you know. I think it's a natural thing for anyone who, you know, first you want to make music that, you know, people can listen to. Like every young producer, you know, wish Black Coffee can listen to my song. You know, I was that producer, and I wish Speedo could, you know, and he did, you know, and then we released an album under his label. And as a black kid who grew up milking cows with no one paying attention to television, interviews, shows, fans, you know, the love can be overwhelming, naturally. I don't know if as people we can take that kind of love, you know. It's the kind of love that would even depress you as a person, because naturally I feel like as a person you can take so much. You can take your mother's, father's, siblings, family, which also could be overwhelming. But now if you have the entire country embracing you, and maybe you're going through some stuff on your own, but then you still have this kind of love, which in most people, depending how strong you are, it leads to depression. You know, as you've seen, I mean, we've been experiencing this. We just lost HP, you know, who was like a really amazing artist who gave people so much joy in his entire music lifetime since the beginning, you know. And you would assume, one would say, why would you be depressed when we give you so much love? You know, but it is what it is. That love could also be overwhelming. I think one, because I was always, we all have been, you know, Jay-Z was once a talented artist who no one really knew, you know. I look for talent before anything, you know. I look for sound, the texture for me before the name, you know, and this is the challenge I've been having lately. Like, I'd make a beautiful song with a South African artist and submit it to the label I'm working with overseas, and everyone goes, wow, you know, who's this? This is so amazing, you know, but then can we replace him with a known name, you know, and that's how the industry is. And a simple example is Delilah on the song we did with David Guetta. She's a new kid. I think she has like 5,000 followers on Instagram. She has no following, you know, but it's the voice. You know, when I had the voice, I had to impose on her. And working with a big artist like David Guetta, who would have anyone, like he could have anyone, anybody, you know, and I had to insist because it is the voice, it is the texture that I was looking for.
The great